Okay, now I'm going to show you how to edit a video. Now that you've recorded some content, maybe some video on your phone or a camera, you've got maybe some still images, some graphics, some audio tracks, whatever it is you need, some music, whatever, and you want to create a fairly decent professional-looking video. I'm going to show you how to do it using another free video editing software called Davinci Resolve. So that's the Davinci Resolve icon, and this is Davinci Resolve running. Now again, as I always do, I've created a folder for this project, and this is where I'm going to put my project file, and this is where my renders will go once I've created the project and I export it out as a video file, and I render it to whatever format I'm going to do. This is where the render will go, and of course I have my folder for all my media. As before, I've got my video that I shot, I've got the slider shot, and I've got the audio file that I'm going to use, and I've got my graphics. This time I'm going to use 75% white and 75% white no text, along with my cover art. It looks just a little bit different. And of course I've got my credits, my credit scroll here again as well, the text file for my credits. So let's get started. So I've already created a project, and I'm going to open that project up, and I've already got my media. No, that's where I want. That's not what I want. Yeah, here's what I want. So again, I'm going to go into edit mode. Now again, Davinci Resolve is a linear editor, so this is the timeline that we're going to work on. There's a few areas of this. This is my preview window. This is stop, play forward, play back, and this is jump back and jump forward. I'm going to work mostly in this edit window, the linear edit window. When I need to cut a piece, there's a couple ways I can do that. I generally come over to this window, which is where I can do my trimming. But again, I'm going to spend most of my time in here. I am going to spend some time in effects and also in inspector, very possibly. So, but we'll see how that works. So let me get rid of this. I want to remove that clip. I want to remove that clip. I want to come back here to my media, and I want to add my two white screens, my slider shot, my audio, and my main video. And I'm going to drag them over here into my media. So there I am. So as for before, here's my timeline I'm going to work on. I'm going to drop stuff on my timeline. So I'm going to drop that on my timeline. And I'm going to drop my main video onto the timeline. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to drop the second one because I need to do titles. I can do titles a little bit differently in Davinci Resolve, and you'll see that. But so there we go. So there's my opening screen. And my two opening screens and my video. So let's see how that looks. And on Davinci Resolve, my time that I'm running is up here. So I'm at about 10 seconds, and there's my video. Okay. Again, these two go back and forth to the various cuts. So I want to add a title to this. So for titles, I'm going to go to Effects, and I'm going to come here to Titles, and I am going to, I'm just going to add text. So I'm going to add text, and I'm going to add it. It's going to go on top of the clip. So there's my text. And here's where I'm going to do all the editing of the text. So here I want to do content creation. Year. Again, I'm going to change the font to Bookman Old Style. I'm going to change it to red. There's my, and because it's treating the whole frame, actually I want to make that a little bit bigger. I want to make that bold italic, and I want to make that a little bit bigger. So I want that about 100 is fine. And so I want my position to be, I think I want a little bit higher. I want it at 150. There we go. And I want it centered. I might make that a little bit bigger. I might make the font, the size 125. Yeah, maybe 110. Okay, I'm happy with that. I have not yet figured out how to do the wrap or the like the drop shadow and that in. I'm sure there's a way. I just haven't been able to. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. I haven't bothered looking because Davinci Resolve is another one, but I don't normally use it. I usually use Shotcut or Adobe Premiere. So there's my title. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to have it fade in and have it fade out. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the end of the track, and here's where I'm going to get into Inspector. And this gets a little bit more complicated than what it was with Adobe Premiere, or sorry, with Shotcut. So I need to go into my Inspector, and I need to come to the title, and I need to come to composite. So I need to set endpoints. Actually, what I can do is I can probably just do a fade on that. Wonder what that does. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's do it the way that I know how to do it. So I need to go to Inspector. I need to select that and then composite. So this is where I want it. So I'm going to add an anchor point, and now I'm going to go back to a few seconds before, and I think this will do it. Yeah, that's going to fade the title out. And I can go back to the beginning, and here I can do another non-additive dissolve, and this will fade it in. And I can shorten those if I want. So I'll make it about 10 seconds. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so now I want to do a cross dissolve, but first I got to fix that clip. So let me play you that clip. Okay. So first I'm going to zoom out of this timeline a little bit because it's a little bit hard to work with right now. So okay, today I want to cap. So right there is where I want to trim it. I want to split the clip. Now I can do it two ways. I can come here and I can use my scissor tool, or in the edit mode I can pick my razor blade, and I can put it anywhere I want, but I'm going to put it right on the play line and do clip, and then go back to my selector. So now I've got the part I want to keep and the part I don't want to keep. So now I'm just going to hit the delete key and get rid of that, and it's going to move me over. So again, okay, today I want to focus on. Okay, so now I want to get my my cross dissolve. So I'm going to get my cross dissolve transition, and I'm going to drop it there, and I'm going to center it on the two. Okay, today I want to focus on. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So now I need to add a track. And I want to move the track down. And I want to move the track down. I want to move the track down. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I want to add track, and it's going to be a mono track because it's mono. So there's my new mono track. And I'm going to move this up a little bit just so we can see our tracks. So now I need to go back to my media pool and get that audio that I want to use, and I'm going to drag that down onto that audio track. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so that's there. So I want to split it right about there. So this time I'm going to go to cut, and I'm going to select, actually before I do that, I got to make sure, yeah, my audio track is selected. So I got to go to cut, and I'm going to hit my scissors. No, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Oh yes, it did. So there's the one I want to keep, the audio I don't want to keep. Right click, delete. And now this one here, I want to go to effects, and I want to go to audio transitions, and I want to do crossfade to 0 dB. That means fade it out. And I want to shorten that a little bit, so it's kind of in line with the transition. Oh, they're the same. So let's see how that looks.
Okay, today I want to capture.
Okay, I'm happy with that. So we got that done. Now I'm going to save my project, just so that we don't mess anything up. Now I know I need to split this track, this clip, and it's somewhere around the 15-minute mark. I think it's somewhere around here. So let's see where this is.
Did you notice the difference in that shot?
Okay, that's a little bit after.
As the name implies.
So again, this is that slider. You put the camera on, it slides it back and forth, and it gives a different perspective than you get when you just like pan a camera back and forth. And I want to insert a clip here that shows what a slider shot looks like, so that people will know. And so that's what we're going to do now.
Cottage several years ago that I like to use. Maybe it's a good example of the effect that it has. So I'll stick that little clip into this video so you can see what it looks like to get an idea of what a slider shot looks like. In fact, I think I'm going to stick it in right about here.
What I've done there, because I know I want to split this clip, and I want to insert another clip in there, and I'm going to want to transition from this clip to that inserted clip, and then from the inserted clip back to this clip. So I've intentionally paused for a few seconds to give me a few seconds of transition so that the clips can change.
Right here.
One Mississippi. Whoops.
Right. Well, there. Right about here.
One Mississippi. Two Mississippi. Okay, so I want to split the clip there. So I'm going to grab my little razor, and I'm going to come down here, put it right on there, and cut, and go back to my selector tool. And I'm going to pull the clip away. Whoop. I need to have both tracks selected. So now I can get this, put it right on there, cut them, go back to my selector, and now it should pull them apart. No, it didn't. Okay, I'm going to undo that. So what if I go now to cut? It should do both tracks. Yep, now it's cut both tracks. I didn't want to do that. So let's move that out of the way. And now I can go back to my media pool, and I can get my slider shot, and I can drag that down, and I can drop it in here. And now can bring this back and bring this back, and I'm going to have to zoom back in a little bit. So I can see what I'm doing with transitions. So again, I'm going to go back to my effects, my video transitions. Now, I could do a cross dissolve here. And that would be just fine. But that's kind of boring, so I want to change that. So I want to change that now here up in my inspector. This is what I'm doing here. So here I want to change my cross dissolve, and what I want to do is I want to do what do I want to do? Let's do a center white. Yep. And let's do a center wipe on that one as well. Okay, so there we are. So we're done all that. Now we can go to the end of the clip and we can start building up our closing credits and all that sort of stuff. And before I do that, I know I need to trim the end of this clip.
Onto the top of the tripod. I think that covers about everything. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for downloading. We'll see you around. Bye for now.
Wait a few seconds because I want that transition. And now I can go to my cut and go back to edit. And now I can delete all that. Select it, delete. Why did it do that? Whoops.
I think that covers about everything. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for downloading. We'll see you around. Bye for now.
Okay, so now I can go back to my media pool. Move this over a little bit. So again, I want my main title screen to come in here. And then I want my 75% white with the text. Then I want my 75% white without the text. And then I want my 75% white with the text. And then I want my cover. Okay, so now I've got all my closing screens. So I actually want to close these down a little bit. So now, notice how the bracket changes. This is a bracket going to the right, that's 2, and that's going to the left. If I do this one, it grabs both of these, so I can move both of these over. So I want to shorten that down, and I want to shorten this one down. And then I want to go back to my effects, and I want to do my cross dissolve, and I want to do my cross dissolve centered, and another one centered, and then another one centered. I want to close that up a bit too. So how does that look now?
Now,
And then I'm going to have my scrolling credits. And then that comes back, and then the other one comes back. So let's come to this clip here. And I want to do titles, and I want to do scroll. And I'm going to have to play with the length on that. So here's my scroll, and here's where I'm going to put my my credits. So I'm going to come back to my credits, select all, come back here, paste. So there's my scrolling credits. So let's see what that looks like. Pretty fast. So again, here I want to change that typeface to Bookman old style, and I want to have it bold, and I want to have it centered. And I can actually put it in here on the scrolling credits. I can put a drop shadow. So I want to put a drop shadow, and I want that drop shadow to be yellow. And I want the offset to be, I'm going to make it 5 and 5 for now. And the font color, I want it to be red. So let's see how that looks. I'm going to play with that drop shadow a little bit. That's way too fast. So I'm going to stretch this out and do this to get my time right. Yeah, that size is way too big. So for this size, I'm going to put it at 60. Actually, I have to select all the text first. Okay, what I'm looking for is for these really long ones, are they wrapping? Are they still fitting into the width of the screen? And these are my longest ones, and they are just fitting, so I'm happy with that. And it's still a little bit on the fast side. So I'm going to pull that out a little bit more. And I'm going to have it pull it over here so it's at the very start. I'm happy with that speed. So now I know that's how long my graphics have to be. So I'm going to pull this one way out of the way. I'm going to pull this one way out of the way. And this one, I'm going to move it out. I'm happy with that. Actually, I can probably pull these over just a little bit more. Pull this back a little bit. Pull that in there, and I'm going to do my video transitions. I'm going to do my cross dissolve, centered on that one. I'm going to pull this in here. Actually, I'm going to shorten this down. I don't need this to be as long. I'm going to do my cross dissolve on that one. So let's see how things look for the closing. Okay, that was good. Now I want to go back to my media pool, and I want to grab my audio, my soundtrack, and I want to drag that down onto my audio track here. And where do I want it to start? I want to start kind of beginning, maybe a little bit earlier. Let's see what that sounds like.
Bye for now.
Yeah, I want to start a little bit earlier.
Bye for now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pull it even a little bit earlier.
Bye for now.
Okay, I like that. So let's go back to this cut. So again, I want to trim this track off. So I'm going to come here to cut. And I'm going to cut. Now I'm going to go back to edit. And delete that, because I don't need it. Now, here, I want to come over to my effects again. And I want to do my additive dissolve. Which will fade the video out. And down here, on the audio, I want to do audio transitions, and I want to do my crossfade to 0 dB. So let's see how that looks and sounds. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I've got my scrolling credits. I have all this sort of stuff. I could even put a title on this one and have it fade in and out if I really, really wanted to, but I'm not going to bother. So there's my project. Now I'm going to save my project again, now that I've got everything completed, because this is where things break and I have to start all over from scratch. Now, as before, we can't really use this project the way it is because it's a Davinci Resolve project. It's not an actual video file that we can put anywhere. So we need to render it, or we need to export it out to a video file format. So just like with Shotcut and Adobe Premiere and all the others, there's lots of different ways we can export the file. But one of the nice things about Davinci Resolve is they've given us a bunch of quick export options. They have YouTube here, but to do this one, I'd have to sign into my YouTube channel. And when I do this, it would not only would it render it out for YouTube, but it would also automatically upload it to YouTube. And I don't really want to do that. It's got a few others here: Vimeo, Twitter, TikTok, presentations. That just creates a video file that you could use for, presenting using a projector or on a big screen TV at a meeting or something like that. But there's these three basic ones here, and these are H.264 and H.265. These are your standard outputs. This is a 1920 by 1080, which is HD. It's H.264, which is the video codec, the encoder decoder, 24 frames a second. The audio is stereo, and the duration of it is 22 minutes. This is virtually the same, and this one here is the same. It's just a slightly different, slightly newer codec, slightly different codec. H.264 is fine, 1920 by 1080. And we're going to export this. So we're going to hit export. It's going to ask us where we want to put it. Again, we want to go to video projects, editing, Davinci, renders, and we're going to call this content creation gear. And we're going to hit save. And you can see here we're rendering at approximately twice this frame rate of what the video is. So it should take about half of the total video time to actually render this out. It says it needs about 10 minutes. It's actually a 23 minute video, so that's about right. I'm not going to make you watch all this. I am going to cut this video and I will come back in another couple seconds when we're actually done rendering this video. So see you soon. And we're almost finished. Just a few more seconds. There, our file has been rendered. So the export's finished. So I'm going to, just to be safe, I'm going to save the project one more time so we don't lose anything. And let's go look for our render. So there's our render. Let's take a look at it and see what we think. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So let's see if we can go find where we put the slider shot in. We're getting close.
Really interesting. When you're shooting with a regular, you get an idea of what a slider shot looks like. In fact, I think I'm going to stick it in right about here.
I could have tightened that transition up a little bit. That's a bit long. There. I'm happy with that.
In that shot, how the background stayed fairly
Okay,
stable.
so let's go take a look at the credits. See how our credits go.
Camcorder, you put a pistol grip on there. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for downloading. We'll see you around. Bye for now.
Yeah, the credits are a little bit fast. I could have slowed them down a bit. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with that. So that's our render. Now I could, if I wanted to, I could go back and pull this back a little bit. Let me see what I can do about those credits. We'll pull that out longer, pull that out longer, pull this out longer, pull the credits out longer. See how that looks. I'm happy with that. So now I can pull this back in a bit. And I can probably pull this back to where it originally was. So let's see how that looks for the finish. Okay, so there we are. I fixed everything. I'm going to save the project again. And I will now, again, do a quick export. Do that one. I'm going to name it the same, but this time I'm going to name it Gear 2. And I'll double check it when I'm done. This is why I say I have that folder with all the renders in it, because I might render it out more than once as I tweak things and fix things. So again, I'm not going to let you watch all this because it's way too boring. But again, like with Shotcut, Google and a web browser is your best friend. Do a search for what you want to do, and you will find lots of
All right, gentlemen, fall in.
commercials and videos.
Hello, fellow creators. Today we're diving into the exciting world of adding rolling started. To kick things, they're placed
So
it over
this
the
is
last
basically
clip and then to
what we
overlay it
did.
on the last clip. With the scroll effect
And again, you'll find lots of videos and how-tos and stuff like that on how to do whatever it is you're looking for. So just do a search for doing such and such in Davinci Resolve, and you'll find lots of tutorials and help on how to do it. Well, that's about all I had for today. So as usual, thanks for watching, thanks for downloading. We'll see you around. Bye for now.